Speaking of trouble at the top of the Labour Party, I saw this story cross my feed today, and it's very, very funny. So for people who don't know, Labour Together is the think tank behind Keir Starmer's rise to power. They are a group that was funded by donations that, funnily enough, broke UK Electoral Commission laws because they weren't declared properly, to the tune of hundreds of thousands of pounds, by financiers and bankers and hedge fund people and Israeli lobbyists as well, to fund Keir Starmer's leadership contest and then to become his kind of central think tank in terms of generating policy. It was originally run by Morgan McSweeney and then was taken over by Josh Simons, who then left Labour Together when he was parachuted into the Makersfield seat. And then once Josh Simons became an MP, there was nobody at the top of Labour Together, this central think tank towards the hostile takeover of the Labour Party by centrists, since Jonathan Ashworth so unfairly was lost his seat by not getting as many votes as somebody else, which was very unfair of him because he has a divine right to the seat of Leicester South. Apparently, since his ascension to the top of Labour Together, it's now losing staff and donors, which I think is very, very funny. Labour Together is said to have become directionless and is making redundancies under the former MP Jonathan Ashworth. The Labour group credited with propelling Keir Starmer to power is losing staff, the confidence of donors and its sense of purpose, insiders have told the Times. Labour Together was run previously by Morgan McSweeney, but is said by critics to be faltering under the leadership of former MP Jonathan Ashworth. The think tank was instrumental in Starmer becoming the leader. It supported him in opposition and helped him mould the future of the left. And by left they mean centrist neoliberals. It attracted hundreds of thousands of pounds in donations, which were spent on public research, polling, and election candidates' fighting funds. And by attracting hundreds of thousands of pounds in donation, I mean it was selling donations. It was selling donations and political influence to these people. That's what it was there for. However, Downing Street sources said the organisation has become listless and has been forced to make redundancies. Current and past employees expressed concerns and said donors were losing faith in the future of the think tank. It's almost right. It's almost like it never actually existed to do anything positive. It never actually existed to try and do anything in terms of making the country better. Even though the stated original aim of Labour Together was to stop people leaving during the Corbyn years to try and bring the Labour Party together, but no, it was keeping them together so that they could take it over later. That's what it moulded into. And it was never actually about any of these things. It was only ever about getting rid of the left. It was only ever a way in which that they could have a central clique of people together that they could use all together, lol, to have as an insider group ready for a takeover when Corbyn stepped down. And as soon as that role of hosting the left and getting Labour into government on whatever platform would make their donors happy had been achieved, there was therefore no need for a Labour Together, and so they just used it as a non-job, a sinecure for Jonathan Ashworth to sit in whilst he waited for a by-election to come up so he could be an MP, which is probably why they haven't made him a peer, like they did Thangam Debonair, because they eye him having a seat somewhere else later on. They said while most funders were already committed to multi-year deals, some were turning their attention to other think tanks aligned with Starmer. MPs have reported receiving an increasing number of job applications from staff at Labour Together. It's really noticeable that people seem to be trying to get out. It's sad, but Labour Together doesn't have much of a purpose or sense of direction anymore. Yes, because the single purpose was ousting the left. That's all it was. They've achieved that. Time's up. Up to 15% of staff are said to have left since the summer. Some were discontented, while others went into government or sought roles working for MPs. What, you mean a bunch of these people who were involved in this ostensible think tank actually were using it as a springboard to get cushy government jobs? What an absolute shock. Wow, I'm so shocked. I'm so surprised that people who joined a rogue element within the Labour Party, funded by billionaires and hedge funders and bankers, didn't actually care about the good of the country, and all they wanted was a stopgap between them and a cushy, highly paid government job. What a surprise. The Times spoke to 13 sources, none of whom wanted to be identified. Most raised concerns about Labour Together's future under the leadership of Ashworth, who took over as chief executive after losing his Leicester South seat in July. He replaced Josh Simons, who now sits as an MP. Ashworth has been viewed as a reliable outrider for the government and made frequent media appearances. We fucking know we cannot get rid of him. You can vote him out all you want, but he will still be on your screens day after day after day after day. Jonathan is just as good as any junior minister on the broadcast round, and he was our attack dog in opposition, so it's a great platform for him and us, a Labour source said. He's such a good communicator, he decided that he was going to totally turn off his own constituent by talking about deporting people to Bangladesh. A real attack dog. However, since Ashworth's appointment, staff and Labour Together have said they have seen little of him and that Matthew Upton, the director of policy, often made decisions. What? Are you saying that this guy who is basically sitting having his seat warmed for when he becomes an MP next time there's a by-election that they can parachute him into might not have the future of your organisation at heart and just wants to be able to ensure that he has access to the Labour Party in the interim until he gets another job as an MP? I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked that he's getting his underling Matthew Upton to do things instead of him. What a surprise. There are a lot of people doing good research to make public policy, but who are losing the autonomy to do work they want to or feel is necessary, a Labour Together source said. It smacks of top-down centralism and unfortunately makes us look like a vehicle for Ashworth's ego trip. I'm sorry to say, Labour Together staffers, but you got what you wanted. You kind of got what you wanted when you decided that you were going to sign up to this wrecking project. What are you saying, that people in the Starmer vicinity, people in the vicinity of the Starmer Politburo, might have their own personal ambitions ahead of the overall utility of public governance? Mind blown. Mind totally blown. Another said, we've moved away from being a think tank that speaks publicly about policy. Instead, we've tried to pivot to influencing government policy through private conversations with ministers and special advisors. Critics believe Labour Together's role as a critical friend to the party have been diminished, with too much deference shown to a select group of figures in the party in number 10. It's almost like the people that they're expected to show deference to are the powerful people at the top of the party who believe that they're untouchable and part of the Central Committee Politburo. Again, I've said it before, I've said it again, for all of these people who really hate Trotskyists, they really hate the Marxists and the leftists in their own party. They really do behave like the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. They really do behave like the democratic centralists of the 1930s and 40s, where all decision-making essentially gets folded into the internal Politburo of the party, and everybody else who has no input has to do exactly what they say, and is completely powerless outside of the internal decision-making of the Stalinist Politburo. And they accused Corbyn of Stalinism, and then went ahead to the purges when they got in exactly atomic power. They are getting mad about everything that they said that we would do when we were in charge, and we didn't do. Which is really funny to me. Labour Together has declined to comment. What a surprise. But if anybody needed a laugh, right? If anybody needed a laugh, it's finding out that Jonathan Ashworth ruins everything that he touches. Which is basically true. Couldn't even hold a super safe seat at their landslide election win. And now he's out here tanking Labour Together because he's too busy trying to have influence in central government. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for memberships. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.